Our coach, rough one obviously in the opener. Looking back at tape, was there any one thing that stood out that maybe swung it against you guys?
Well, I wish it was just one thing, but I think clearing hurt us, especially in the first half. The face-offs, we didn't do a job with ground balls. My hat's off to Colgate. I thought they were terrific on the ground balls, especially in the first half. And our shooting, I think our shooting has been poor in the scrimmages, and it showed in the game.
Obviously, that's a tougher opponent than you normally play in the opener with your schedule this year. How much did that just sort of, I guess, amplify everything that wasn't going right?
Well, I told a couple people in looking at their roster a year ago, it was a young team. And now with a new coaching staff, we really didn't know what to expect going into the game. So we had to adjust as the game went on. Got a little better in the second half with the ground balls, with the face-offs. A little bit better with the clearing, but it wasn't enough. We had too much to catch up in the second half.
What are you expecting from Albany this week, where they did graduate some big guys in Connor Fields, and obviously T.D. Earland's not there, but besides that, there's a lot back on that roster.
Yeah, you got number 17 Patterson's back, and number 1 Nanacoke's back. Eccles gives them a big threat in the midfield, and they do a lot of a two-man game, which is always had a lot of ex-box players. And it's difficult to cover, especially if you don't practice it every day. So we've worked on it all week long, and we've got a couple more days to keep working on it, and we'll get better at it. And at least we know, I think, those 3 individuals offensively. 2 of the 3 starters are back on defense, and new goaltender, probably physically a very big guy. So again, with our shooting, we're going to have to adjust as the game goes on, because I can't tell you his strengths or weaknesses right now.
John, when Syracuse lacrosse loses, the world ends in general, and when you lose to Colgate, it's like you might as well just drop down to Division III. Yeah, when you hear so much noise around for a whole week and players hear that, is that something you address with them, or do you say, hey, just don't worry about the outside expectations? Like what do you tell them about that?
No, I don't. It's not a big picture thing, and we're definitely not a Division III team. We're gonna get better, and we're just gonna work on the things that we need to work on to get better. We've showed a lot of film, and I don't want to crawl in the guys' heads. We just want to focus on the next opponent right now.
That was a joke. Fernandez returned.
Wasn't a very good one.
Fernandez returned, and I know he got a little bit of time. How did Jared look? He's off for a long time. What was your assessment of him?
He for the amount of time he's been practicing, I thought he did pretty good. What he brings to the table is a lot of quickness. It's very aggressive. He puts the ball on the ground and gets ground balls for us, and I think he's just going to keep improving once he gets a little bit more practice in.
Any update on Tucker Dordevic?
Tucker Dordevic is done for the season. Yeah, so we feel it's a big loss for us, but what he's going to have to do to get better, he's going to have a procedure done, and then we're going to have to do the rehab. So I don't, potentially have him back at the end of the year, but I think he'll definitely use his redshirt season.
And that's his foot, right?
Correct.
And you said the same injury that was just aggravated in the practice that Tuesday. You said that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said redshirt year.
I'm sure. Yes.
Have you had a chance to talk to you since the release about Ryan Powell joining the program? I talked to him at the game the other day. He said that he's interested someday getting coaching. He's got a lot going on, but he approached you about this position. Could you kind of take us through how that evolved and what you see him bringing to the table there?
Well, I've kind of talked with Ryan over the years, and he brings, some good lacrosse knowledge. And it was a little bit more for the camp and clinics and prospect day issue to bring more people, more potential recruits in, more players to kind of build those facets of our what we've been lacking. As coaches, we focus so much on film and go out there recruiting, and we want to bring camps and clinics back to Syracuse University. So that's his main role right now.
Did somebody have that job before, or is it a new job?
It's a new job, and it's a volunteered position. So it's not like it's not like we hired a new position here through the department.
Do you think he'd be a good head coach somewhere someday?
Oh, I think he could. He's a lot of energy. He coached with us at one time, and was very good on the sidelines. He's definitely a player's coach and brings a lot of enthusiasm with him.
How do you see the face-off situation shaking up after seeing Jacob and Danny compete the other day?
Well, I think it's, face-offs has always been certain guys match up against certain other face-off guys. And they bring different techniques. Jacob's done a really nice job after picking the ball up. He really competed in the game, won some big face-offs in the third quarter for us, and gave us some possessions. Offensively, we did not have a lot of possessions in the first half. And when you take bad shots and you have some turnovers, and if you don't clear the ball 5 times, we're not going to be on offense. So we've got to be more efficient in all those aspects of the game with the face-offs, the clearing, and our shooting.
I guess what was the ideal matchup for Jacob towards the end of the game there?
Well, it was more him and then the wings, and again, I thought he fought for the ball. He had one where he had a check on the ride, and we came up with the ball and scored. So not only they did a good job with that, he created a turnover for us to get the ball and have a scoring opportunity.